Okay, we have now done all the pre-work. We know exactly what we need to put into our software on Synology DSM, connected and plugged in everything on the hardware side, and we power it on. Once it's up and running, we will need to go to our browser. I'm using Firefox in private window, and we look at find.synology.com. When you hear the beep, that means that the device is now ready to be found. I refresh the page. Hopefully, it will find it. There we go. We have a not installed status. We click on the device and click connect. We agree to the terms and conditions, after reading them, of course, and next. There we go. That's exactly my device. I'll hit install. Install the DiskStation manager. It will automatically install it, download it and install it. This tells me that all data will be deleted on the drives, which is not a problem because they are brand new drives. After a few minutes, you should have the next stage. So mine took a little bit less time than the 10 minutes as they promised, but we could continue. We have the welcome to the DSM 7.2 page. Let's click the start button. Device name. I will call this one Family NAS. The administrator account that I will create is the one that I have decided in the past in my planning. So I have the name and I have the password. Auto updating to the DSM and all packages to important versions is the minimum, so I can click next here. I do have my Synology account because I created that right at the beginning, so let me sign in. During the setup phase, I encountered some questions which I did not originally record, but I will cover for you now. Basically, I want to show you that all settings are available to you even if you miss one during the setup phase, or if you change your mind after the setup phase is completed. First of all, there is 2FA. In the control panel, you can go down to the security section, and under the account, you will have the two-factor authentication. Typically, you can set this for all accounts, but I have only done it for one account. Maybe in your case, it's good to only enable it for the administrator group users, which would be the disabled admin account by default and the first account that you create. My personal account over here under security has this enabled, which is the first account I created in the system. Right, the next thing we're going to talk to is QuickConnect ID. That is a remote connectivity system, so you would find that under external access and the connectivity, and it's the QuickConnect ID section, and it was enabled during my setup phase, and I chose my QuickConnect ID as in the beginning. To connect to it, I would choose quickconnect.to/ and then you add your ID as it's shown in this section over here. After the setup, so in this screen, you will go down to the Services Synology account. And inside here, it tells you about after you sign into your Synology account, you can set up QuickConnect, etc., and configuration of the automatic backup for your Synology NAS. That is done in the account itself, so not on this NAS, not in DSM. But if you click on this link, you will see in the bottom left corner, it will connect you to your account, and you can log in and configure your automatic backing up of your account, your NAS on the account. At the next part of the setup, we need to configure our storage media. So the 4 disks and the 2 M.2 slots. In Storage Manager of the DSM, we can see there are 2 storage pools, each having 1 volume. The first storage pool are my 4 disks of 16 terabytes, which show up as 14.6, and the second one is the M.2 drives of 400 gigs. On the first one, we will be asked what RAID do we want, and this is what we have chosen before. I explained that I will be using SHR RAID, and the description that I chose was data. So this is the actual description that I chose during the setup. The next thing I was asked was the amount of space I want to use. I clicked the max button because I want to use the total available space of the disks that I'm allowed. If you want to, you can split this into 2 or 3 volumes, however you see fit, however you want to use your device. I think 1 is enough, and inside there we will create the folders as I will show you later. The other thing the next thing that I'm asked to choose was the file system, and that is PTRFS, which actually is the default, and I recommend that for a Synology NAS. Finally, the encryption is asked for, and I do not encrypt the drives, but if you later want to enable encryption, you will need to go to the top of your storage manager, your storage section, and click on the global settings. And down here, you would need to enable encryption key vault, and then you can start encrypting your volumes. Once my settings have all been set, I click on next, and it asks me if I want to delete everything on the disks, which I confirm that all data will be deleted, and then it continues to the next part of setup, which is the next disks that you have, which is my M.2 disks, my NVMe drives. And in this one here, I have chosen the same SHR. I have also chosen BT RFS. I've also maxed out, so it's the maximum available space for me. And again, it will ask me to wipe all the disks. During that warning of wiping all the disks, there is a second warning that tells me that these disks, or this type of configuration I have, is not hot pluggable. So I will not be able to remove an M.2 drive if it is faulty or needs replacing, because it is an M.2 drive. They do not give you that option. Whereas the first volume here, the one with my 16 terabyte disks, if one of these fails, I can hot swap it, meaning whilst the system is running, I can physically remove that drive, put in my replacement 16 terabyte drive, and it will start rebuilding that replaced drive without me needing to power down the system. If people are accessing it, they will not see any issue during that access. Next, we talking about data scrubbing. So in this case, I have enabled data scrubbing. And the good thing about data scrubbing is that, first of all, it can be schedulable, but it's basically ensuring data consistency. And of course, it lowers the risk of data loss in the event of a drive failure. So this is something that should not be done very often. Monthly is a bit of an overkill, especially for me, but every 3 months, which is what I have chosen, is a good time to do this. I've only enabled it on the first pool for now. I will enable it on the second one when I'm starting to use it at a later stage. You do have to remember that data scrubbing should only be used if you are using critical documents or virtual machines on your disks. If this, for example, is a backup NAS, it may not be necessary to have that. So this is, let's say, your second NAS that you have that is acting as a backup. You don't need to enable data scrubbing. If you want to, you can. The reasons are data scrubbing puts an extra stress on the disks, mechanically and otherwise, and therefore doing it too often risks you having a disk failure more often. Therefore, every 3 months, actually you can even do it every 6 months or yearly. I think for my use case, every 3 months is good enough. And of course, running it at a certain time, you can set this to run in over a weekend at night or something like that. My schedule seems to be 1 a.m. So that's good enough for, again, my use case. For data scrubbing on something like a cache disk or a speed boost setup that you have, maybe on your NVMEs or another volume, again, it's not needed because caching of data or speed boost data doesn't require any data consistency for a long period of time. It's data that is quickly written and then quickly read, and therefore discarded. There is no data consistency requirement for cache, scratch space, or speed boost data on those volumes, so data scrubbing is not needed if you're going to do something as advanced as that, which we're not going to be covering in this tutorial. Finally, after the setup is completed, I would come into this screen here, log in to my NAS. The first thing that I would do was go into the control panel, go down to my network, and change it from the DHCP that I have to a fixed IP address. So I would click on network interface. I only have one connected, so therefore I would click on this one, click on edit, and here is where I would change whatever the address was, which was DHCP on the top here, and I would change that to the manual configuration, and I would choose my IP address that I have already planned for. In the beginning we talked about this. I've chosen 240, so 192.168.1.240. You can look at your IP and investigate whatever your address should be and use that one at this point. When you click OK, it would restart the NAS, and then if it doesn't automatically refresh, you would need to manually put the new IP address there at the top, and then connect and log in as you always do. I'm going to click cancel for now, and we can move on to the next section.